This book will help you understand what the Mandela effect is all about. And I'm afraid that the Mandela effect is not about changes. Dale Dufay's book potentially found the answer about 10 years ago. The book is $10 hard copy and $5 ebook. Thank you, and thank you for watching the videos.
It's constructed using a 700-year-old method called the Catalan vault. Instead of placing bricks upright, they're laid flat and shaped with mortar into a curved, self-supporting arch. The result is a staircase that's not only lightweight, but also incredibly strong. People assumed this staircase would collapse since it had no visible support at the bottom. But it works flawlessly, and the reason is brilliant.
There is no way you can build stairwells with no support underneath, like wire, cement columns. This is nuts.
Thin bricks with mortar, forming a thin yet strong vault that supports itself. Although this Catalan technique is 700 years old, it's still used by this Spanish brickmaster. When this guy built a staircase without bottom support, the homeowner thought it would collapse, but to everyone's surprise, it worked. The secret is in evenly laying thin bricks with mortar, forming a thin yet strong vault that supports itself. Although this Catalan technique is 700 years old,
These videos are signs and clues that we're somewhere else. This is evidence that we got moved, because all this stuff that I am showing you, I never seen before. That makes it a new Mandela effect. Every new Mandela effect, it's clues and evidence that we're on another Earth.
I thought I was taking crazy pills. Can you do a video on the Mandela effect? And Mandela people crazy? Can you do a video on the Mandela effect? So you might be hearing this and thinking it might be time for a woo-woo alarm, but I'm not going to hit the woo-woo alarm because actually I'm going to kind of walk us back from the ledge on this one. We place a lot of trust in human memory because it feels very real to us, and it kind of makes up who we are in a way. Nelson Mandela was a civil rights icon. Beloved around the world, highly respected world figure, Nobel Prize winner. It's impossible to overstate how amazing this guy's life was. To understand the premise of the Mandela effect, I have to explain who Nelson Mandela was. As a political prisoner, Mandela lived in an 8-by-7-foot cell, sleeping on a straw mat, working in a limestone quarry during the day where the sun reflected off the ground so harshly that it halfway blinded him. And Mandela lived like that for 27 years as a prisoner of the South African government as the anti-apartheid movement went on without him. He became a face of the movement and a hero to millions before he was finally released in 1990, and was pretty much immediately elected president. Now, this is where things get weird, because apparently there are millions of people around the world who remember, like it was yesterday, that Mandela actually died in prison. So when he did actually die in 2013, there were a lot of very confused people because they could have sworn they remembered that he died years ago. Now, many of these people distinctly remember him dying because it was a big deal and they were talking about it on the news. They remember very specific things that were said about it. But could he be proof of parallel universes? I experienced the Berenstain Bears effect. Yes, I am one of millions of people who distinctly remember growing up reading the books called the Berenstain Bears. And then when later it was pointed out to me that it was actually the Berenstain Bears, I thought I was taking crazy pills. Because I could see it, literally, in my mind's eye, the word Berenstain in those swirly letters. And it was a cartoon series for a while too, and I always called it Berenstain. Like I couldn't even imagine it any other way. But then I saw it, right there in front of me. It was Berenstain the whole time. How? Honestly, it still kind of messes with my mind. So, am I just crazy? Are all those Mandela people crazy? Some people think it might be proof of parallel universes. How else could so many people have the same vivid memory of something that never happened? Did it occur on some other plane of reality? Did these people begin their lives in that reality and at some point jump over into this one? Am I right now living in a universe that I wasn't born in? I mean, if there are parallel universes with another you in that universe, could your consciousness jump back and forth between that one? When I wake up tomorrow, could I have jumped into the body of another me in another universe and I would be in a slightly different place in the morning? But could he be proof of parallel universes? Parallel universes are a fascinating subject, though. You know, it's a comforting idea that somewhere out there in a parallel universe is another you that maybe didn't make the same mistakes that you've made. All those things that you went through in your life, the missed opportunities, the screw-ups. It's nice to think that maybe somewhere out there, there's a version of you that knows what could have happened. That missed opportunity might not be so missed after all. But what are the chances that there are actual parallel universes? Well, it all comes down to infinity. If our universe is infinite and time is infinite, then slices of time could be their own little parallel universes, when every now is slightly different from all the other nows. Maybe with infinite parallel universes, there's room for every quantum of time to have its own infinite set of possibilities that spin off from that. A universe where you get the job and a universe where you didn't. A universe where a lung cell divides perfectly normally and a universe where it mutates and you wind up getting lung cancer. A universe where you die in prison and one where you become president. One of my favorite little mind blowers is the thought that in an infinite universe, it's mathematically certain that there is another planet that evolved exactly like Earth, and animals that evolved just like humans, and families that evolved just like here to create another you. And in an infinite universe, not only would there be another you, there would be infinite yous. In an infinite universe, you are infinite. So whenever you're afraid to take a chance or take a risk on something, just remember that no matter what happens here, at least somewhere out there, it's guaranteed that you got it right. So fear nothing. But there are a lot of websites out there that talk about this in great detail. If you really want to go down the rabbit hole, you can just go check those out. It's pretty interesting.
This has been a Pinguinati production. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, links are in the description.